Cool. I've shared the attendance form. I'll be showing how to fill out your sole ID. So stating that I cannot that it cannot perform the particular task by stating that it is not able to access the particular website. So this is a punt statement. It can also say I cannot perform this task directly. So these both will be considered as response as a punt. Response is a useful punt is when there is some information that is given extra instead of this punt. So you will be having the punt statement at the beginning, but additionally you will be having some kind of information which is actually useful to the user sentence that is given over there. So same question, the person asked to book a flight for New York to California on so and so particular date, and this is the question that is asked by the sorry this is the prompt that is given by the user, and the model says that sorry I cannot perform this particular task. Instead you can do this particular steps, you can follow this particular step to actually book your ticket. Go to makemytrip.com. There you select your source as New York, select destination as California, and check for all the flights and book a flight. So this is the information that is as given additionally, and this is actually useful to the user point of view in the like taking prompt into consideration. So that is the reason we'll be treating this as response is a useful punt. Response is not a useful punt when there is a punt statement and there is an additional information. So taking this example into consideration, so the person has asked the same thing and the model has replied sorry I cannot perform this particular task. Instead you can go and search on Google Maps to book a flight. So this particular information is actually not so useful to you at that point in time, because there's no requirement like you can't just go and book a flight over Google Map. So that is the reason you will be marking it as response is not a useful punt. And response is not a punt when it did actually answer to you according to the user's intent. It has done something, like it has given the answer like not actually refusing it. So then you can mark it as response is not a punt. Okay.
Recording in progress.
So everybody, are you able to see my screen now? Sorry, I broke in middle. Okay, cool. So I'm going to show an example of how actually this punt and not a punt is going to look like. So this particular question is that you have a question that find me a cover of so and so artist that's slower and more emotional than the original on Spotify. So the person needs a cover of that artist on the or the song on like on a slower note and more emotional than the original which is found on Spotify. So the model has retrieved few things, like three of them, and it has given an answer. So you'll treat this as response is not a punt because it has answered directly without stating that I cannot do this. Here, it told that I couldn't find a slower, more like cover of some song with specified search. Would you like to would you like me to try a different search or perhaps low? So if people or sorry if the person could answer this particular question, the model could have retrieved more information. So here particular point is actually useful information for a user to actually get or fulfill the user's intent. So that is the reason there is a punt statement and there is some extra information or additional information which is useful. So that is the reason we call this as response is a useful punt. Clear everyone with punt? Yes. Any doubts on punt? Yes. Cool. We'll start with our next rubric, that is your instruction following. I guess many of you know it, like everybody will be knowing it. So I'll just skim through it. So instruction following is nothing but how well did the model has followed all your instructions which are given explicitly or implicitly, whether all the instructions are followed by the model which is given by the user or not. We'll be checking an instruction following. It will be no issue when all the instructions are satisfied and all the user intent is attained at particular time, and minor issues when it missed out on few things, some secondary intent, or if there are four intents that is given by the user, the main three were satisfied and one is missing out, then you treat it as minor issue. It will be major issue when the key part or the main intent is itself is missing, then you mark it as major issue. It will be not applicable when there are generic statements, as in I like going out, I like to ride a cycle. So these are all some generic statements wherein we do not actually have an instruction to be followed, so that is the reason we'll be marking as not applicable. For no issues or for minor issues, I'll be telling an example in brief. So there is a question given by the user stating that uh, plan a 4-day trip to USA. I need a 4-day trip to USA, and I need some pet friendly hotels to stay at, like to go for the lunch, and I need a resort on the third day, which is actually near to airport. So these are few instructions given by the user. It like the user has asked to plan a 4-day trip to US, and also it has asked only pet friendly hotels, and also the user has asked the third day at a resort stay which is near to airport. So these are the three intents given by the person. If the model didn't give the like a resort which is near to airport but it is a bit far away from the airport, then you can mark it as minor issue because it didn't actually understand that the resort must be near to the airport and it has given the farther place. So then you can mark it as minor issues in instruction form. It will be major issue when it has given you hotels with pet friendly, like which are pet friendly, and it has given the resort for the third day stay, which is near to airport, but it didn't actually plan a trip. It didn't involve everything what actually a planning of a trip does require. Then you mark it as major issue because your primary intent is actually to plan a trip, but it didn't follow it. Then you mark it as major issue. And not applicable, as we told, it's a generic statement. Then you can mark it as not applicable. So everybody cool with instruction following? Do you understand? Yeah, you will be getting the instruction document. We'll soon share it with you. And yes, so we'll move forward with the next rubric that we are having, that is contextual awareness. So until now, what have you been doing in the context? You have been searching if there is a multi-turn conversation. Only then you'll be marking it as no issues or minor issue or major issue. But in this particular task, that is in your action extensions, you'll be having this kind of context that is given. So what you need to do is you need to check your both context as well as multi-turn conversation. So here's an example. So you'll be having this kind of context. If context is not there, and also it's not a multi-turn conversation, then you'll be marking it as not applicable. If any one of them is present, you need to mark based on that, and you'll be just checking if the model actually requires your context or not. So here in this question, how long did I play this particular sport today, you'll be checking your whole context. So here, as we can see, these are all the contacts that are there in your phone, like in that particular mobile device. Then once you go down to it, that's it. You, the whole context is about the what we call contact list. So you do not have anything related to that particular what we call the thing, like the question. So here you'll be marking it as no issue because the model actually do not have any information to extract from the context, but there is a context field. That is the reason we'll be marking it as no issue. But if there is no context as well as there is no multi-turn conversation, then you'll be marking it as not applicable. here's a question where a model has been asked, um, give me the details of William Murray. So this is the question that is being asked by the person. So what a model needs to do is it must use the context and retrieve these both numbers, like your WhatsApp number and the WhatsApp, sorry, the phone number and the WhatsApp ID. So if model has missed out on anything, like if the phone number is given wrong, so then you'll be marking it as minor issue, because like your WhatsApp ID is given correct, but your phone number is not taken exactly using the context and it has hallucinated some other phone number, then you can mark it as minor issue. If both of them were given wrong, then it's major issue. If it has actually taken this information correctly, then it will be no issues. So, so yeah, these are the four categories that we are having. Not applicable when you don't have context, and when you don't have multi-turn conversation. No issues when everything is recalled correctly and your context is being correctly used, then it's no issue. Minor issue when it missed out on few context, and major it totally forgets everything. Then you mark it as major. So everybody now clear with contextual awareness? Yeah. If the prompt is different from the context, uh, if the prompt is different from the, yeah, so that is the reason I told you, you will be marking it as no issue. If your prompt doesn't require the context information or your multi-turn conversation information, then you'll be marking it as no issue. Only when you don't have the context and the multi-turn conversation, only in that case you'll be marking it as not applicable. Cool, everyone? Yes. Thank you. Now I'm going to have your next rubric, that is content relevance. So in content relevance, you'll be checking how relevant is your response to your user's prompt. So is the content all given is um, not repetitive and very helpful, and also you'll be checking whether it's relevant or not. So these are the three things that you're going to check in content relevance. So here, to make a point, I'll be adding an example wherein a person has asked five science experiments for the age of 8 to 12. So for the age of 8 to 12, what are all the five, like what are the good five science experiments that a person can do at home? This is the question that has been asked by by the user, and the model has given you five science experiments with according to their with respect to their age. Then you can mark it as no issue. In this, if four of them were science experiments and one of them is a math experiment, then you can actually mark it as minor issue because one is not relevant to the topic. You have another case over here. So in your five experiments, three of them are related, sorry, three of them are like not repetitive. Like fourth and fifth are repetitive. Then you mark it as minor issue because two of them are repetitive and other three are like unique ones. It will be major issue when in five of them, four of them were repetitive and one is not, like one is a unique one. And also it will be a major issue when um, all the five are not science related experiments, are not actually relevant to the prompt that is given, and it has given a poetry kind of stuff or any five other bullet points which are not related to science experiments. Then you can mark it as like major issue in content relevance. So clear with content relevance, everyone? Good. Now this meeting is getting recorded. We'll be sharing the recording, we'll be sharing the document. So I request everyone to please concentrate over the rubric. So because based on this particular what we call training, you'll be having an assessment, and once you clear that assessment, then only you'll be onboarded to the session, like the project. So I request everyone to please keenly observe each and every point. We have the rubrics, we have different kind of rubrics that are introduced newly. And yeah, please, it could be a refresher session for you. So the next rubric is content completeness. In this rubric, you'll be checking how complete is the response is provided with respect to the prompt that is given. So whether all the information regarding the question is fulfilled or not, all the questions that are asked in the prompt are addressed to the, like with respect to the prompt or not. So these are all the things that we are going to check in the content completeness. So when there is a person who has asked a question wherein like, give me some hotels which are actually, what do I say, so the hotels which are nearby the airport, which are zero point 0.5 kilometer away from airport, and it has different kinds of cuisines that are present, and it has mentioned few cuisines, and also they must be only a vegan diet meals, so it must be a vegan thing. So there are three intents which are there, and it the response is given in such a way that it didn't give the hotels, it gave only the restaurants with all other satisfying conditions. Then you mark it as major issue. And minor issue when one of the intent is missing, like for suppose the vegan diet is missing, only the cuisines and zero point 0.5 km away from this is there, so two intents are satisfying and one is not actually satisfying, then you mark it as minor issue. You also have another case wherein um, a person has asked me 5 YouTube videos for the e-learning thing of photosynthesis. For a photosynthesis topic, he needs 5 YouTube videos. And here you'll also check the like, there are few YouTube videos that are given, but the title of one of the video is not photosynthesis but trigonometry. But the content inside it is again going to photosynthesis, because one is missing on the title name. Here also you'll be marking it as minor issue and content completeness. If many of them are missing, you mark it as major issue. Cool, everyone? Did you understand this content completeness? What is the difference between instruction following and content completeness? So in instruction following, you'll be checking the what we call how well did the model understand your intent and how well did it follow your instructions. In this content completeness, you'll need to check, did it complete the answer according to the user the like user prompt or not. Did it missed out on any points? You're not going to check whether it tried to satisfy or not over here. In instruction following, you'll be checking whether it tried or not. So there is a particular case, that's your edge case in content completeness, um, wherein that particular, I'll be showing you the answer for it, like I'll be showing you a edge case for it. Hmm, yeah. So in content completeness, here what's the question that we are having? How long did I play this particular sport today? So what did the model actually say? I'm sorry, but I cannot answer that question. I do not, as I do not have an access to your personal data, including your gaming activity or any other application, it cannot do. So it has explained it in such a way that I cannot perform. So basically, what do you actually or like mark it in content completeness? You mark it as major because it didn't actually like complete your answer, that is like, to according to the question it should give how long, but it didn't give anything. But the reason is, it is technically correct that a person like the model do not have the access to your gaming activity. So that is the reason in completeness you will be marking it as minor issue. Make sure that this is going to be perfect, because if it is technically correct in completeness, you will be marking it as minor issue even though it didn't satisfy anything or it didn't give you the whole answer. This is an edge case we are having, and we are specifying this in your upcoming projects. You need to follow this. Yes. Okay. So I'll be now going through the next rubric, that is your writing style and tone. So here in writing style and tone, we'll be checking, was the response well written or not, how well it is formatted. how well the tone is being rendered. Like, um, if it is, if the model has asked you, sorry, if the person has asked you or a model to give in a formal tone and it has given in an informal tone, so you'll be checking each and everything, how well it is formatted. Is it easy to understand by a person or not? Is it easily understandable for the person point of view or not? And also the formatting issues, the paragraph, the grammatical errors, as well as the tone which is given by the model. So these are all the things that you're going to identify. And also slight sorry, sorry guys, I've lost my connection. Anyone, am I audible now? Yeah, cool. Thank you. So sorry guys. So is my screen visible now? Yeah. So basically, I'm telling you an example now. So there is a question asking, like asked by a person, that I need a letter to write it to my principal stating that I need a weekdays of time since I'm suffering from a fever. This is the prompt given by the user, and model is has written the letter in such a way that, hey principal, I am so and so. I'll be on a leave for 1 week or so because I'm suffering from fever. Catch you up after one week. So this is the response which is given by the model. Here you actually mark it as major issue because the tone is totally rephrased and totally changed. It must be a formal tone. It has given the informal tone. So here the tone is changed. That is the reason you'll be marking it as major issue. If there are 3 or 4 paragraphs in your letter, only one paragraph sounds to be informal and other 3 are good enough to be a formal one. Then you can mark it as minor issue. It will be no issue when everything is fine. You even see it in your what we call grammatical errors as well as how well it has formatted. So there is a question stating that I needed what we call a recipe for doing so and so dish. So there are 5 ingredients list which is given, and there are and also there is 5 steps which are actually required for like doing the process. So here in this 5 list of ingredients, 3 were bulleted points and 2 are what we call numbered points. So in this case we'll be marking it as minor issue because everything is fine, but those stylistical errors, the bulleted points and the numbered points, everything given in one thing, then we'll mark it as minor issues. Because if you started with bulleted points, you need to end it with bulleted points. Why should we bring numbered list in the middle? So this is some stylistical errors, and based on that you'll be marking it as no, minor or major. Everybody clear with writing style and tone? Is my voice breaking, everyone? Sorry. No. Cool. Thank you. Uh, yeah. Next, we have our next rubric, that is collaborativity. So, in collaborativity, you'll be checking how well did the model has assisted you in answering or like to actually what we call, yeah, it did it ask any questions or did it give you any suggestions, how well did the model has assisted you in answering the question is what we see in collaborativity. So in this also you have four categories: no issue, minor, major, and not applicable. So here in this case, you'll be checking your prompt first. You'll be seeing whether that particular conversation or whether that particular prompt actually requires any collaboration or not. For example, there's a question stating that what is in my calendar today. This is the question asked by the user, and the model can directly go and retrieve the information or the event which is there at 3:15 p.m. today in the calendar. So it can retrieve an information, it can retrieve the event directly, stating that at 3:15 p.m. you have so and so event. So there is no requirement for a model to interact with the person at this point in time. So that is the reason we'll be marking it as not applicable. But there's another case where we actually require collaborativeness. So consider an example where a person has asked, create an event today. Okay, so this is the question that is asked by the user: create an event. So now tell me, what do you actually require to fulfill the intent over here? Like, to create an event, what are the requirements that do you need if you want to actually create an event over your calendar? What do you need? I'll be sharing this talk. Please listen to the lesson carefully. I'm asking you a question. What do you actually require when you create an event over a calendar? Isn't our time attendee school? Good. So you'll be requiring the what we call event name, the start time, the end time of the meeting, yeah, time slot, the description of the meeting. So these are the four things that are actually required to create an event. What are those? The event name, the start time, the end time, as well as the description of the meeting. So here the model actually requires question. It actually fulfilled everything. So while I've asked the model to create an event today, it has asked me these four questions. So it has been collaborative and it has been interactive with me. So you'll be marking it as no issue if it missed out on any point. So these are the four required fields for you to actually create the event, and it missed out on asking you the end date time. It has asked you the start time, event name, and description, but it didn't ask you the what we call the end time. Then you mark it as minor issue. If everything is missing out, it didn't ask any kind of question, you can mark it as major issue. Cool, everyone? Clear with collaborativeness, collaborativity? Yeah, good. um so next, you say not applicable when there is no requirement for the collaboration or the interactivity required. As I told you an example, like to retrieve the date at, sorry, to retrieve the event at so and so time. So you do not actually require collaborativeness. So if you wanted to have some other example, there is a question stating that I need a theorem to be explained. This is so and so. This needs to be explained to a 5-year-old kid using some animated video. So this is the information that is given by the user, and the model do not have any other extra information that is actually required from the user. It can directly go and prove that theorem having so and so elements for so and so age, and it's done. So that is how your the model, like, you need to clarify and you need to see whether the requirement is there or not. Only then you can mark it as not applicable. So now we'll move forward to the next rubric, that is your truthfulness. In your truthfulness, so we'll just bring a comparison between truthfulness and collaborativity. In your collaborativity, Firstly, you'll be checking your prompt and seeing whether there is a requirement for your collaborativity or not. Coming to truthfulness, you'll be checking the response which is given, and you'll be identifying the claims that are there. Claims, as in nothing but the verifiable information. So there is a fact. Your claim is nothing but a fact or a information which can be given, like which can be treated and categorized whether it is true or false. So it's not like a generic statement. So you must actually observe those claims which are there. If you have a claim, then you must go and mark it accordingly. So in this you'll be having five categories. So sorry, yeah. So your first one will be not applicable. Here, if you do not find any kind of claims, for example, this is the example. You do not have any claim for it to verify your data anywhere. So these are all the generic statements which are given by the model. So there is no facts which are there, which are present in this particular response. So here you can mark your truthfulness as not applicable. Then you have cannot assess. So in this particular task, you'll be checking code output. I'll be telling you what is code output actually, and I'll be showing you how it looks like. So if you'll be checking if you have code output, context, and the required factual claims are made in it or not. So if you don't have this code output, just I'll show you how this code output is going to look like. Give me a second. Yeah, your code output will be looking like this. So in block you'll be having stating that it's a code output, and it will be like this. So you'll be checking whether this code output is present or not. If it is not present, you'll also check the context which is there. If you don't have the context also present, you'll be checking for that particular information through web search only for 15 minutes. So if it is dragging on after 15 minutes and you are not able to find the actual answer for it, then you mark it as cannot assess. So what do you check for cannot assess? You check first if there are any claims. If there are any claims, then only you'll be going to code output. If there is like code output and context, you'll be seeing both of them, which is apt for that particular response which is given. And then if both of them are missing, then you'll be doing the web search, that you'll be searching on over your Google. If you do not find it over 15 minutes, then you'll be marking it as cannot access. So I'll be showing you an example over here for this truthfulness. So there's a question stating that I need some YouTube music, sorry, YouTube videos for algebraic inequalities. So there is a first question that is there. Can you find a YouTube video on inequalities so I can teach and help him tonight? So this is the question, the first intent that is there. So for that you have the code output over here. As you see in the response, only that is the claim. So firstly you will be seeing the response and you will be checking whether there is claim. So here you have a claim, that is your YouTube video, because you can verify this. You can verify the title, you can verify the link which is given over here. So you'll be checking out whether this link is a valid one and it is actually redirecting you to this particular algebra. Yeah, it is going to algebraic inequalities, which is given as the title over there. So you'll be checking this first, and you'll be going through the code output that is there. So here it is actually seen in the code output. So as you can see here, title and the URL. So you'll be checking whether this URL and that URL is matching, and this title and that title is matching or not. So you'll be seeing if this information and that information is matching, you mark it as no issue. If the information there is hallucinating, for example, instead of this title, it is given as this title and the YouTube link as this as same, you'll be marking it as minor issue. If both of them were wrong, then you mark it as major issue. So this is how you're going to mark it according to code output. If there is a question which is related to context, you have different kind of code outputs, but here there is remember me asking a question starting like previously, there's an example which I told, give me the information of Simran Singh. So it has given the information of the whole this phone numbers and everything. So just imagine it has used only two phone numbers. You're not going to penalize the model since the context has three numbers and there it has only two numbers. You need to only check in truthfulness that whether all your information that is given in your response is actually correct or not by using your code output as well as context which is given. So there you have only two numbers and here you have three numbers, then you're not going to penalize it. Then if you have extra number which is actually not is present over here, then you can mark it as an issue over there. So clear everyone with truthfulness? Stop annotating on screen. Yes. Please don't spam in chat. We'll be sharing the document as well as recorded video. This is being insisted for you from the beginning itself. So I request everybody to please understand and please focus on the training session. I'll be giving you the attendance as well as the feedback form at the end again. So please focus on the session that we are doing right now. So next you have the information retrieval as your rubric. So in this information retrieval, you'll be checking if the prompt has documents, files, or emails. So these are the three important things that you actually need over your what we call the the prompt that is given. So if there are no such kind, there is no document, there is no files, and there is no email attached to you in your prompt, you mark it as not applicable. So if you have those and the model has used the information to actually fulfill the user intent as a whole, then you mark it as no issue. It will be minor issue when it didn't retrieve all the correct information which is actually required to satisfy the user's intent, then you mark it as minor issue. You'll be marking it as major issue when no information is retrieved and all the information that is retrieved is not at all useful to the user in point of the prompt, then you can mark it as major issue. So for example here, there is a folder stating that there are five major ways to to manage your time. So there is a document stating like there is a big document of time management topic, and it has asked, like the model has, the person has asked you stating giving this document, and I need five important ways to actually manage my time. So this is the like five important things needs to be picked from the document. So if it missed out on anything, it will be minor issue, and it didn't actually retrieve the information that is like regarding time management important things, but it retrieved some other thing, then you can mark it as major issue. So clear with information retrieval, everyone? Yes. um Now we'll be moving forward to next rubric, that is your code. So in this code, you'll be checking three parts: tools, functions, and parameters. So whether the code has used the appropriate tools, functions, and parameters, then you'll be marking it as no issue. So if you do not have this code, then you mark it directly as not applicable. So let me just go through an example. So you already know that here we need to retrieve the YouTube videos for inequalities, algebraic inequalities. So you need to use the YouTube, like you need to search over YouTube. So that is the reason you have used the tool as YouTube and your function as search, because you need to search and based on a query, that is your parameter. So based on which parameter is that? Your title name. So you need the algebraic inequalities explained, so that is the reason you have given your parameter as such. For example, there is the same question, and instead of algebra it is using trigonometry. So there is a misuse of the parameter. You'll be marking it as minor issue over here. So here, instead of YouTube, it has used some Google search or Google Maps or any other thing, other tool. Then you can mark it as major issue, because you actually require the YouTube videos, but it is going to some other what we call tool. So that is the reason you'll be marking it as YouTube, sorry, major issue. So these are the tools. Don't worry about how to actually go, or you might be in a misconception that you actually require some coding information or some coding knowledge to do this. You don't require it. So these are all the tools that you have to do while like you have the functionality of each and everything. So just go through it. Once you get the instruction document, you will be assigned over the project. Also, you'll be having this beside you, so you can check each and every time. So this is how you're going to check your code. Everybody clear with code? Yes. Now I'm going to next rubric. That will be your code sequence. So code sequencing, you'll be checking, did it use the most appropriate tools in most efficient manner, or the sequence that is going to happen. So here in this example, we'll take again this example. So this query has four different intents. The very first intent is, can you find a video of YouTube? So you need to find a YouTube video on inequalities. So I can teach myself and help him tonight. Please also summarize the web page from QMath on algebra inequalities from my notes. So from his notes, we need to retrieve the web page, and then you need to use browsing tool to actually summarize the web page. So first you'll be finding the YouTube video. So your YouTube tool must be used. Second, you need to summarize the web page. So you'll be using the browsing tool. Then um, you need to update the note with summary. So notes tool. Then you will be using the messaging tool to WhatsApp this particular note to so and so person. So these are the four tools that you need to do, and this is the order. First you need to find the YouTube video, then you need to summarize the web page, then you need to update the notes, and you need to send that notes over message or WhatsApp to some so and so particular person. So these are the four intents. And when a model here, I'll just show you how did the model do actually sequencing. So first tool is used correctly. Second tool, instead of using the browsing tool, it actually search for that particular website over the Google search. So this is your code sequencing major issue over here, because the next sequence we do not have, and the appropriate tool use is not done correctly. It must use the browsing tool, it has used the Google search tool. You'll be even seeing the order of how they are being done. So instead of Google search, it has used the browsing tool, but it has sent the message first, and then it has done the notes, like updating the notes. Then you mark it as minor issue because one sequence is missing. So here, if the total sequence is messed up, like in first it has sent the message, then it has done the browsing, then it has updated the notes, then it has what we call retrieved the YouTube video. So the whole consequence, the whole sequence of the code usage is messed up. So that is where you mark it as major issue. So everyone clear with the code sequence? Yeah. Can you please explain about the search? uh I'm so sorry. Is it about search, or is it about the code sequence? Is it about the search function? Okay, cool. We'll go to the next rubric. The next rubric will be your code output. So, code output is where you check whether the information that is given in the code output or retrieved information is actually useful to fulfill the user's intent or not. So here in this particular example, we have retrieved a few videos from the, like, using the code that is for algebra inequalities. So here we should check in the code output whether all the videos that are provided here are actually referring to the correct videos. Are they actually solving, are they actually about solving algebraic inequalities or not? So this is the thing that we are going to check in the code output, whether the information that is given as part of your YouTube videos are related to that particular what we call um, the description, like related to solving algebraic inequalities or not. So this is the thing that we are going to check over here. So in this code output, as you see in here, everything is fine, but here we have some the channel name as organic chemistry tutor, and due to time constraint I am unable to open each and every link. But once you open it, there, this kind of this video is not uh like what we call related to the inequalities, but it has given the information in such a way. So you'll be checking each and every link, you'll be checking whether everything is actually fulfilling the user's intent or not. So this is the thing that we are going to check in code output. So yeah, in five of them, one of them is missing, so you mark it as minor issue. If in five of the videos, four of them were wrong, uh, just think of title itself. If the title itself is wrong in four of them, then also you'll be marking it as major issue. So if any one of them is missing out of all videos, for example, everything is fine, but just the title name is missing out on this particular video, then you can mark it as minor issue. If everything is correct and good, then you can mark it as no issue. So there is an edge case over here also. Just imagine here the instead of algebraic inequalities, trigonometry is given, and the model has retrieved the trigonometry. It has, like, code output actually do not have like what we call some problem in generating the response, like because the code actually has given the wrong parameter. But we need to mark an issue over here, but it's not major issue, it's minor issue, because it's because of code we are going to penalize the code output. So that is the reason we are not going to actually give the major issue in it. So this is an edge case that we are having in the code output. So everybody, did you understand the code output? Yes. Then you have the last one, that is our overall response quality. So in your overall response quality, you'll be checking each and every rubric that you have marked until now. You'll be checking for all the issues that are done. If it is no major or no minor issues, then you can mark it as cannot be improved. If there is one or two minor issues and no major issues, then it will be marked as minor room for improvement. If it is more than two minor issues but no major issue, then it will be considered as okay. If you have one major issue and any number of minor issues, then it's pretty bad. And if you have more than one, like two or more like major issues and any number of minor issues, so it will be treated as horrible. So this is how you mark it as overall response rating. Then also you have the Likert scale rating at last. As you already know, you'll be like what we call just comparing both of the responses while taking the overall response rating into consideration. If there is 1 point difference, that is slightly better. If it is 2 point difference, that will be better. If it's three or more, then it will be much better. And if it is the same, then it will be about the same. So here's there's some like there's another nuance. So if response A has one minor issue and response B has two minor issues, so I need an answer here. What are you going to mark it as? Response A has one minor issue and response B has two minor issue. What are you going to mark it in the Likert scale rating? Yeah, many of you say it as no. I'm just mentioning A is sorry, A has one minor issue and B has two minor issue. So basically your overall response for A will also become minor room for improvement, B will also become minor room for improvement. But here you must see the difference. A has one minor issue and B has two. So that is the reason you'll be marking A slightly better than B. So yeah, this is one nuance that we are having in the Likert scale. So I'll be just showing you the example that we are having. We'll just quickly go through the example. So this is the question: how long did I play Nike today? So the model has given the response. So what do you think this can be marked as your punt? Like in your punt, is it a punt? Is it a useful punt? Is it not useful punt? What can you mark it as? Oh, sorry, I shall share my screen. Useful punt. Uh, Sorry, it is a punt. I'll tell you why. So it has some information which is, see, I don't know who you are and I don't have a memory of your past interaction or activities. This is not actually required to you. So until here, okay. So this will be treated as a punt statement because it is rejecting or refusing and telling some reason. Even here, it is telling my capabilities are limited to providing information in complete tasks based on. So this is not actually required to a user. So you can treat it as a not useful punt in both of them. Everyone, did you understand it? Why shouldn't it be not useful? It is a not useful punt. It's not a punt. And contextual awareness, I'll be telling you. I'll be just going through the example and telling you. Please stop annotating over the screen. Okay. So yeah. So anyway, it didn't follow your instruction, but it has a valid reason. That is the reason you'll be marking it as no issue. Here, how good is response using it contextual awareness? So one who has asked me about the contextual awareness, please have a look at it. So here, there is no requirement for you to actually check the context. So there is nothing to be actually checked. It's a generic statement that is given. But for example, there is a question asking me, give me the information about Peter Home. It must use the context that is given. So until now you are seeing multi-turn conversation, but now you must also check the context that is given. So here actually we do not require any kind of context in this particular question. But if it is a question stating that I need information of Peter Home, then the model needs to retrieve it. So the requirement is that the model must use the context. If it didn't use, you must mark it as major issue. If it missed out on few points, then you can mark it as minor issue. If it missed out, or like if it has used correctly, it has retrieved the Peter Home information correctly, then you can mark it as no issue. So then we have our next dimension, that is your content relevance. So why do you think I marked it as minor issue and content relevance? Please stop annotating. So here in content relevance, I marked it as minor issue because this particular line is not actually relevant to our information. I don't know who you are and I don't have any memory of your past interaction. This is not actually required over here. So that is the reason we have marked it as minor issue. Here there is no such information, so we marked it as no issue. Then how complete is the content? So as I told you here, the nuance that we had, the edge case that we are mentioning, as it is technically right, that is the reason we have marked it as minor issue. If this reason is not perfect, It has the, if the model has the access to your personal data and it is mentioning like this, then you mark it as major issue in your content completeness. So then you have factually accurateness. There are no claims, that is the reason we have marked it as not applicable. There is no documents that are given in the prompt that are there, so we mark it as not applicable. And there is no code output, so obviously there's no code sequence, and there is no code output. Code output, code sequence will be not applicable. So here we have two minor issues, three minor issues, and no major issue. That is the reason we have marked it as okay. And response B will be rating accordingly, as you know already everything about it. So I'm happy that we have done this. Our training is done. Cool, everyone. I'm going to share you the attendance as well as feedback form now. I'm going to take doubts. We'll be sharing the instruction document, as well as we'll be sharing you. Oh, just a second, guys. Okay, thank you. So we'll be sharing the recordings. We'll be sharing the instruction doc, and also uh, what else? The assessment will be given to you by the EOD. I guess it is assigned to you already. Please check it over your Soul platform. If you do not have it, you'll be getting um, you'll be getting in near time. So please wait